Howard, let's start with you. I mean, I know if you go back through history, corporations have had this long, sordid history of selling us products that are going to kill us. And I think one of the oldest ones out there is asbestos. Tell us a little about that.
The asbestos story is pretty amazing, Farron. As early as 1898, it was recognized in England that asbestos dust was extremely dangerous. And we kept mining it here, and in the 1920s, when the lawsuits began against Johns Manville, they lobbied Congress and they got a national legislation passed that said that these should be treated as workers' compensation cases. The effect of that is denial of trial by jury. They were handled administratively as comp claims, because if there's anything that these corporate terrorists really fear, it's a trial lawyer with the right to discover, get into their books, get into their documents and discover them, and then present that to a jury. So the first thing Johns Manville did was set aside the right to trial by jury. Then they funded phony medical studies. Eventually, independent medical exams linked the disease, several diseases, including, of course, mesothelioma, to the asbestos. In an internal memo, it's pretty indicative of their attitude. This was actually from a corporate discovery. The internal memo actually says, quote, "If you have enjoyed a good life from working with asbestos products, why not die from it?" Can you believe that?
That is completely indicative of the corporate mentality of the time. And asbestos, you know, as you said, the industry worked very hard to prevent any of these cases from going in front of a jury. And a large reason for that is because in public, the companies were telling us that there is no possible way a human being would get sick from asbestos. While on the other side, in private, their internal memos showed that they knew this was happening. I believe, you know, by the 1930s, a lot of these memos came to light, but they had known for 40 years prior to that. And even today, we still have over 100,000 deaths every year from asbestos. I know there's a lot of companies in Canada that are still mining asbestos. They're sending it all over the world. So this is not a case or a product that is, you know, outdated or irrelevant today. It's still being used. It's still out there on the market.